Back to the daily grind, and y'all know we gotta talk about this. But before we do, make sure you hit subscribe if you're new and hit thumbs up if you're not a baby back bagel biting bitch boy, cause you know what time it is. It's full time.
MMA.
We finally have some closure, full-time family. Ronda Rousey joined Ellen DeGeneres on her show today. That joint says Ellen Tube. Ellen's got her own tube and shit. Is she competing with YouTube out here? What the hell? Y'all might see your boy full-time on Ellen Tube next week. I'm just fucking around. But Ronda Rousey joined Ellen and she talked about her transition to the WWE from the UFC. And Ellen went on to ask her, is it hard being a UFC fighter in that ring? Do you ever think you're gonna like snap and whoop some ass in there? In other words. And Ronda Rousey said, that's what the rehearsals are for. But I suppose if I were to snap on one of these chicks, nobody would know, right? So them chicks gotta be careful fucking with Ronda Rousey in there, because she will throw you in an arm bar and break your arm real quick. None of those girls in that WWE ring would have any level of defense for Ronda Rousey. Say what you want about Ronda Rousey, at the end of her MMA career, she's still whooping 90% of the chick's ass, 100% of the chick's ass in the WWE. So, that doesn't really mean anything. That's just something that was interesting about Ellen and Ronda's conversation when they were talking about, because remember we talked about that. We said, a lot of them chicks, they want to, the Ronda Rousey's coming over and taking everything they worked for, One of them are going to accidentally, be going for the slap and slap too hard. You better be careful. That's all I'm saying. But Ronda Rousey and Ellen DeGeneres also she asked her, so do you ever plan on going back to the UFC? And Ronda Rousey said, no, it's about as likely as me going back to the Olympics for judo. And, judo never demanded a resignation from me, and I don't think the UFC is either. Now, that's interesting. The UFC and Ronda Rousey, they're on good terms. It's not like, Dana White or anyone from the UFC comes out like, we're mad Ronda Rousey left. She left us high and dry, bada boom. You don't hear that from the UFC. So Dana White and Ronda Rousey, they're on good terms. Which is, it's interesting because the thing about Ronda Rousey's retirement from the UFC and confirming that she's done with the UFC, the only thing that stands out to me, is the USADA testing, you know what I'm saying? And it's not a big deal if she's not coming back to fighting. We don't have to worry about her USADA testing, but just the technicality of, if you're enrolled in the UFC, I think you're subject to random USADA testing and stuff like that. So I don't know if Ronda Rousey confirming she's done with the UFC, if she's ever going to be technically unenrolled or if she's always going to be on the rankings. What does this mean for the rankings? Ronda Rousey has been number 9 on the female bantamweight rankings since her last fight with Amanda Nunes. Does her coming out and confirming she's done with the UFC, are they going to take away her UFC ranking? You know what I'm saying? Give that spot to a girl that is fighting for that spot? I would assume so. We might see Ronda Rousey falling out of the UFC rankings sometime soon, but she's over there doing her thug thizzle in the WWE. And one thing she did say that I got is pretty cool. And you can say what you want as a fight fan. There's a lot of fight fans that are like, man, this girl, she couldn't handle a loss. She ran into some trouble and she left. But one thing you have to give Ronda Rousey credit for is how much she did for WMMA. She brought WMMA. It's not on the same level as MMA skill-wise yet, but fucking as far as entertainment value, a lot of these fights, storylines, the drama that goes into some of these fights are just as good as the fucking regular MMA, male MMA, WMMA, MMA. You guys get the fucking point. So Ronda Rousey brought WMMA very far. She did a lot for the sport. The way she left was a little unceremonious. She didn't speak with the MMA media. She didn't talk to the MMA fans. We didn't really get the update on what was going on. So a lot of people are kind of mad at Ronda Rousey for that. But still, what she said in the Ellen interview was like, whenever I was in judo, I was by myself. Whenever I was a fighter, I was by myself. And in WWE, one of the cool things is it's a big team. We're all working together, to make toward one goal. So it's fun. It's cool to have a team, and that's one thing that everybody, you know what I'm saying? Everybody, it doesn't matter what the fuck you're doing, fighting. Just that camaraderie, having teammates, having family, having that family environment, that's always a good thing. That's, you know, everybody wants that. So that's, you know, I'm sure that feeling over there at the WWE is probably pretty cool, on top of not, you know what I'm saying, she said, and another thing she said about the WWE is it's scripted fighting. It's not fake fighting. She said, when I got slapped in the face, that was a real slap. You can't fake that. They didn't bring out the rubber foam hands. I really got slapped. You know, so yeah, the results are scripted, but we're really getting slapped and shit like that. And, you know, that's true. You know what I'm saying? A little bit of respect to the WWE on that. You got to be athletic. You got to, yeah, that's true. You're going to get fucking slammed around. You're going to get... It is what it is, but it's not the same thing as real fighting. Scripted fighting is definitely not real fighting like the UFC. So, I mean, it's one notch down, but it's not like fake. It's not like, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't mean Ronda Rousey can't take a slap to the face. She might not be able to take a punch, but she can take a slap. No, I'm just fucking around. But with that being said, Ronda Rousey, you can check this out on chriscyborg.com. That's where I actually saw this. I saw it on Twitter. She shared it. Ronda Rousey confirmed she's done fighting with the UFC on Ellen. Got us a little bit of closure finally on the Ronda Rousey situation. So with that being said, it is what it is. Let the full-time family know what you think in the comments. And as always, thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the subscribe button and also hit the notification bell right next to it so you're notified every time I upload a video. I'm out.
Da 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 da. It's the motherfucking DOWG.